In this session, I want to get into mathematically correct grayscale separations, and then I want to get into doing very high-end separations and understanding some things about grayscale, dot tones, and pulling colors based on understanding of those things. And if we look at grayscale, it goes from a numerical value of 0 up to 255. And if you get your eyedropper tool, you can start here at a white, and you can see that's gray 255, and as you go down, the numbers go down. Now we have the same thing over here in the tone curve tool. We're going from what would be our 255 here down to 0 on the x-axis, and up here we've got our 255 down to 0 on our y-axis. Now understanding that, and understanding how mathematics work, and that the tone curve is a mathematical tool for making adjustments to the mathematics in the grayscale color, we can very easily separate grayscale mathematically correct literally in just 1 or 2 minutes working in CorelDRAW with the tone curve. Not something that has to be done through a complicated process in a color space or color simulation environment that is incorrect, causing you to have to do all kinds of work that you really shouldn't have to do. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to go to Effects, Adjust, and I'm going to go and get my tone curve. And the first thing I want to do is say I want to pull the white. I could just invert this, but I can actually invert here these two nodes, and that would be my white. Now I can actually take this then and start to actually edit that or manipulate that and push that back. If I go to 128, I've pushed it back halfway. Do you see how easy that is once you understand how this tool works? Now one thing you want to be aware of is that you want to be in straight mode if you're near one of the previous versions of Corel, and this is set to curve mode. Change it to straight here. Let's say I want to pull my midtone or my gray. I've pulled my white there. This would be my actual gray. Right here from the center, fading into the black, fading into the white. Let's say I want to pull my black. I'll bring this up, and we're working on the 128 again, remember? Excuse me, I'm pulling my white there. I've actually got to go ahead and reset here. And I'll go ahead and go back to straight here. And what I want to do to pull my black is go to my 128 here and just push that up. And there I've pulled my black. So I could do these separations, these very mathematically accurate grayscale separations, literally in just a minute or two. Not something that needs to be a huge workflow. Very easy to do. Now let's see how this applies to very, very high-end printing. When you're printing high-end and you're printing with screen printing and halftones and color blending and colors, even working in HSB, there are some times, when you'd like to be able to really reproduce things very accurately, very vibrantly. If we make some analysis of our halftones, we know that working in halftones in grayscale, when we start getting up into these very small dots, we don't hold them so well. And we might not want to be in a situation where we're trying to separate or print something like this where we've got these light pinks in here that we're probably not going to hold very well as a red. As you can see here, because here you'll be getting the illusion of pink from the red, but you might want to print an actual pink there. Now this separation I've set up here is from this image, and it's basically set up, here's your black, there's your red, that would be your gray separation or your midtone red, and here's your pink. Slightly different colors, but what you're doing is you're going from a pink to a mid-red to a dark red to achieve the look of the color without being reliant on trying to hold or print these small dots effectively, because you're going to get better dots here than what you've got there for the pink in this color separation. And this is where you get your very high-end color separations. When you hear of 12 color separations or 14 color separations, that's where it's coming from. Not all the time. Sometimes there's 10 or 12 different spot colors in the design. This is just one aspect of it, but I wanted to share with you how easy it is to separate even at the high-end level once you know how to use things like the channel mixer, the HSL tool, and the Grayscale tool working directly in CorelDRAW. I'll go ahead and hold shift down here and I'll click all three of these and we'll go ahead and put this back together. I'll hit C and E. Now we can see how easy it is for us to do these types of separations and how we can print more accurately. And sometimes, you get to a place where you start to understand what's going on in your shop, what's going on with halftones, what's going on with images, and then you can start to be very accurate about when you do and when you don't need to pull your colors apart this way. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this here. Now this is just a basic image. Now if this was a multicolor image where I had red, yellow, green, I could pull all those colors and do all those different things, and I don't want to get on all of that in this session. I'm just laying a foundation. You can go work with the videos that we have on the YouTube channel, and then from there you'll be able to do these things yourself manually once you've got this understanding that we're presenting for you. I'm going to go to Effects, Adjust, and I'm going to go to Channel Mixer. And this is already set, but I'll go ahead and hit Reset. And I'm just going to go up here to the color mode. I'm going to go to CMYK. I'm going to come down here to the black, and I'm just going to bring this down to 0 and select OK, and that's going to pull my hue. Now I'm going to keep this hue for reference, and the next thing I'm going to do is come down here and I'm going to go to Effects, Adjust, Desaturate. I'm going to go to Effects, Adjust. I'm going to go to Tone Curve, and I'm going to compensate for that desaturation by going to the 128 here again. And then I'm going to change this to a grayscale. So I'm going to go Bitmaps. I'm going to go to Mode, and I'm going to go to Grayscale. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this 3 times. No, I didn't want to do that. I want to hit Control R, not Control E. Now here I'm going to pull my pink. I'm going to do that a little bit differently. I'm going to go to Effects, Adjust, Tone Curve. And I'm doing this in grayscale mode. I'm going to bring this all the way up. I'm going to lay down a node here at the 128. And I'm just going to come right down here to the middle and pull this right down into here. Now, if we look at the red, the pink that's in our image, what did we just pull? We just pulled the pink areas. You see? In here. Like if I look down here, right there, you can see there's quite a bit of pink right in here. And if I come over here and zoom in, you'll see what I did is I pulled that pink in there. So that would be my pink. Go ahead and delete this. Then over here I can go ahead and pull my gray, or which would be my mid-tone of the red. I'll go Effects, Adjust, and I'll go to the Tone Curve. I can bring this right up to here. I'll go to the 128, and I'll bring that down to 128. Just like that, and select OK. Then here I could pull my black. So I'll go to Effects, Adjust, and Tone Curve. Now as you get familiar with working like this, as I said, you'll start to recognize when and where to use these techniques. And let's say I wanted to pull this, so I'm going to get a little bit more vibrant in the red. I could actually control how much of that black I'm pulling out, or how much of the true red I'm pulling out, or I could have more if I wanted more vibrance. So I can do very mathematically correct separations, or I could do arbitrary separations based on the results that I want, because once you understand how these tools work, even manually, you can do what the high-end separators do very easily with these tools. All it would take is some practice and test printing, and you would be very well on your way to being able to separate at these levels and being able to pull colors and tints very effectively. Now, looking at this, I'll actually leave this a little bit brighter, and we'll see that after we get done here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take these 3. I'll go Bitmap, Mode, and I'm going to go to a RGB here. I'm going to go to Bitmaps. I'm going to go to Effects, Adjust, and Replace Color. Now here I'm going to replace that with a red. Now I pulled more red probably than I should have, but if I need to I can go back and make an adjustment. And I'll select OK. Now here I'll go Effects, Adjust, and I'll go to Replace Colors. And this is just for demonstrative purposes. Now see, because I'm in grayscale I can't do that. I've got to go to Bitmaps, Mode, and RGB first. Then I can go to Effects, Adjust, and Replace Colors. Now here I'm just going to bring my lightness down a little bit so that that's more, excuse me, I'll bring it up so it's more of a mid-tone of the red, something like that there, and select OK. And then here I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to my pink, so I'll go to Bitmaps, Mode, and I'll select RGB, and I'm going to Effects, Adjust, and Replace Colors. And here I'll go up into a lighter pink color. So you could actually mix these colors, or you could use Pantone or what have you for your actual ink and screen printing. But now I'll take these three and I'll just hit C and E, and I'm going to change these to a multiply so you can see what happened here. We'll go uniform, we'll go to multiply, and then we'll go to 0%, and that would be our hue pull. Now I'm going to go down here and take this image and let's compare. We'll go Effects, Adjust, Channel Mixer, and we'll select OK, and we'll do that hue pull again. And there you can see how that is, or how accurate that is. Now if I wanted to make adjustments, I could go back and do that. Let's go ahead and add our brightness to this and see how that comes out. We'll go to Effects, Adjust, and I'm going to go Channel Mixer again. Here I'll go with my black at 100, which is right here. And I'm going to go to my cyan, that's going to go back to a 0. I'm going to go to my magenta, that's going to go back to a 0. I'm going to go to my yellow, that's going to go back to a 0, and I'll select OK. Go ahead and take this here, and I'll just go to Effects, Copy Effect, Lens From, I'll click here. No, I want it to be here, there we go, on that object, and then I'll just hit C and E. And we can see what we've done here and how accurate we are compared against our original. Now if you look at this and you say, well, I want some more red, then you can just go back and make some adjustments. But that's how you would go ahead and set that up. Now I want to go up here and change this to View Simulated Overprints. Then it's going to look correct with the multiply lens. And what my overprints are going to look like, because I'm going to overprint those colors. So you can see here now that we can do very, very high-end color separation very easily, working with the basic fundamental tools that we have in CorelDRAW, such as pulling a pink and a mid-tone for our red and then the deep red very easily and quickly in CorelDRAW. And I've gone through a tutorial on this, and I've done it here literally in less than 15 minutes. But I want you to be aware that you can do very high-end color separations even with these manual methods. And sometimes what you want to be aware of the fact is, if you get in here, you can realize some of this pink, you're not going to hold that. So why not pull it and be able to print it like a solid color? So go ahead and wrap here. I hope this helps, and we'll see you in our next video.